I'm Ann Labar,
And I'm Lisa Lanser Rose.
and this is
This Animal Life.
Welcome. Today's going to be a little different. We're going to be talking about the John James Audubon Center at Millgrove. I live near it. It's in Pennsylvania. And one of the reasons that we chose this is that the Audubon Center at Millgrove has recently expanded their visitor center and educational programs just to get the word out about it, because not too many people know, and it's just a beautiful, fabulous place, as you'll find out. And today we're going to feature our very first interview with one of the volunteers at the Audubon Center at Millgrove, who is one of the bird handlers there. And so away we go. What I don't think most people know about that era is that most naturalists would basically kill everything. So while Audubon is known for his drawings, the birds are in their environment, which is another reason why they're special.
Right.
But
they're not alive.
they're not alive. And in fact, the mansion is full and the barn was full of taxidermy.
No, and it's now once you know that, when you look at them perched on a branch or something, you can see there's something like a little off about the gravity or something's not
Right. And I love it. If you look him up on Wikipedia, I love this. There's a portrait of him from 1826. I'm looking at it right now. And it is him looking off into the distance holding his rifle.
Oh, great. Yeah, there's an Audubon house in Key West. And it's a very interesting, it's a museum now and et cetera. And he must have been loaded.
Oh, yeah. Well, anybody who was a naturalist at that time was loaded.
Okay,
because they could afford it. They could afford it, and they were of time and means. Yeah,
sure. Yeah, the house is interesting to me because it is built like a ship, or I'm just talking out.
It's built like a what?
But it withstands hurricanes. It is built, or maybe the house was constructed by a shipbuilder or something. So architecturally, and I guess he requested that it is designed to be seaworthy, and windworthy.
Gotcha.
It's cool. Yeah. Anyway, I remember my mother having great respect for Audubon. And, she had a membership at the Audubon Society. We had books.
Right.
I have donated to Audubon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have too. Yeah.
We've had birds. My family, we're bird keepers.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes. My grandfather had racing pigeons. I have some of his awards that his pigeons won framed on my wall. Cool. And then my grandfather on my other side raised parakeets and had a huge aviary with separate rooms. And then I raised finches. My father had parrots.
Right.
My mother had cockatoos. Yeah. I lived among captive birds.
Yeah.
It seemed like birds were disposable.
Oh, yeah. At that time, absolutely. Yeah, it didn't.
No, now just humans are disposable.
Yeah, exactly. But one of the reasons, it's so close to my house and it's gorgeous. Even before we had kids, we loved old kind of colonial houses. And I live in Pennsylvania. They're a dime a dozen,
They are.
They're built for people who are 5 feet tall and the rooms are really small. And but
the closets are like 6 inches deep.
If you have closets, right. And we didn't always, but we had our first house was a 1-room schoolhouse.
Oh, I remember that house.
It was a pile of rocks.
Absolutely.
Right. And then we had like a 1700s farmhouse. So we like old houses. We were always visiting old houses. We like to have old houses.
Yeah.
And so the mansion was there. Of course, it was beautiful. And there's artwork all the way through it. There's a gift store. There are taxidermy everywhere. They would have classes. There are hiking trails all over the grounds. They would have nighttime things where you would walk in the woods, take a nighttime hike. They'd wait until your eyes get adjusted and then they would take a hike.
Okay. Oh, events like for stargazing or night animals.
Right. Yeah. And Yeah, we went on one with Kate, and she had those light up sneakers, and we got in a lot of trouble. Um,
Oh, come on.
because it ruined everybody's eyesight because it
I'm
was
sure.
flashing.
Yeah. Okay. That must have
Um,
happened all the time at that time, though.
oh, I'm sure they were in.
Yeah.
But then oh, and they do things like I don't know if they still do them, but they used to do like they would tap the maple trees, and then they would have these
Oh.
big kettles outside with a fire
Oh my
underneath them,
goodness.
making maple syrup, that kind of thing.
Oh, how dreamy.
And you can rent out, and I think you always could. You could get married there
Uh-huh.
on the grounds. As you'll hear in the interview, you can have an owl adventure during your wedding.
An owl
And
adventure in your wedding to deliver the ring.
yeah, maybe. I don't know. But they bring them out and you have an owl encounter, I guess is what they call it.
It's not like in the staircase, is it?
No, no. My oldest is, it's just easier to say they're on the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody knows any kind of kid with autism or certain learning disorders, they have their special topic.
Yes.
And theirs was birds.
Okay.
So we would go there a lot.
Yeah.
And they were very interested in art. In fact, they're really a lovely artist. They would have drawing classes
Mm-hmm.
for kids, and they would put out the
Oh, how wonderful.
they would put out like the taxidermy, and you would sketch the taxidermy, much like Audubon.
Yeah.
And then later on, Kate became a volunteer, and I think gave tours once in a while,
Mm-hmm.
but basically not being a complete people person, I remember they ended up in the attic in the barn cataloging all the all the dusty taxidermy.
That's awesome.
So we have a long relationship with it.
Yeah, we did too. There's one in central Pennsylvania called Shavers Creek,
Oh,
and the lady was big into the reptiles. She was the turtle girl in the summertime. She volunteered there.
oh,
And there's
okay.
one here called Boyd Hill Nature Preserve that also has rehabilitated but cannot be
Right.
released birds of prey. And I used to go there all the time. I used to take my students there when I taught nature writing.
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah, I used
great
to teach
idea.
nature writing. We met every day at a different nature preserve,
Oh, wow.
and we'd meet out on the beach and stuff. But Boyd Hill was a favorite. And right now, one of my good friends, her son, volunteers there, and she's always posting pictures of him with a glove and an owl on
Yep.
the glove.
Yeah, because it's educational.
It sure
They
is.
use it for classrooms and stuff. This auto, I hadn't been there in a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and they have built this enormous, over the top, beautiful visitor center. It used to be everything was in the mansion. I didn't go into the mansion this time when I went, so I don't know. They probably still have a lot of prints up and stuff.
Sure.
But the visitor center is very interactive. It's what you'd expect from a big, over the top nature preserve visitor center. There's all the branches that kids can build a nest there. Stuff like
I
that.
want to
Big
build a nest.
dioramas and educational you walk through, and that kind of thing.
So it's like the Smithsonian or something.
Yeah, it's very much in that flavor. And they have non-releasable raptors and birds of prey there, and a couple of chickens,
Hmm.
which you'll hear in the you'll hear in the interview.
So this place was a big part of your life and your children's upbringing.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, very much so.
Now you're related to someone who volunteers there?
Yeah. And recently found that out. My husband's cousin, Lew Boynton, who is, I swear, 7 feet tall. Um, and one of my favorite, I guess, in-law relatives. He's very funny. He's a joy to be around. And he's been posting on Instagram all these pictures
Mm-hmm.
of the owls and whatnot. And so I thought, oh, I can go interview him. And not many people know about this enormous, beautiful visitor center. They were trying to get the word out, and I thought I would help. And also, just in general information about the visitor center, I think it's open. It is open from, I think, Wednesday through Sunday, from like 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So you can go through the visitor center or whatever. But the grounds are always open. So you can always go there to hike, hang out, have a picnic. I saw all kinds of people having picnics.
But the really cool thing, and the thing that you that Lew does is he handles and cares for and trains the birds. So he knows them all personally. They're like colleagues of his.
Yeah. You will meet Conrad, who's a blue jay, very small blue jay. And I didn't ask Lew why he wasn't, because I was just so taken with this blue jay.
Wow.
Why he wasn't releasable. And because he seemed fine. He's got no physical injuries, but he is non-releasable because someone took him out of the nest illegally, because you can't do that, especially in Pennsylvania. You can't keep a wild animal for more than 24 hours without a permit.
Yes.
So somebody had taken him out of the nest and raised him for 2 years. So he is imprinted on people.
Okay.
He doesn't know how to be a blue jay. Thing to note about him, which I thought was interesting, which was on the website, that his, blue jays have that incredible crest, much like a cardinal or something. And if they are with a mate or babies or, that kind of thing, the crest is down.
Aww.
When they're hunting or aggressive or out doing things, it's up. Like, stay away from me, I'm huge. Yeah. But his crest is never up when he's with people.
He loves his peeps.
So, yeah.
Wow.
He does. And he does. I mean, his enclosures are riot. There's bells. There's a xylophone on the wall.
What?
Like, vertically on the wall so you can go and peck at it. So he does put on shows. I didn't get much of a show because he was coming out of molting. So he had been hiding for a while. He was, embarrassed.
Well, you have this interview,
yes,
right?
I do. And we're going to play it.
I would love to hear it.
So how long have you been doing this?
So I started, I think I'm going on my 1-year anniversary.
Okay.
And I've been coming here, like when I first moved to the area about 6 years ago, I would come here when the owls were in their old enclosures. And then the new enclosure was built, gosh, I guess 3 or 4 years ago. And then they relocated all of the birds over here.
This is amazing.
So yeah, so this is like, people just really don't know that it's here.
No.
And I think more recently the management is trying to do a better job with like social media advertising. And oh look, Odin is speaking to us.
Hi, Odin.
So this is Sherlock.
Oh, this is Sherlock.
And he's the strong silent type.
Now he's a barred owl. Okay.
And I haven't heard him make a peep in all the time that I've been working with him. But he is very good-natured, and since I've been training, like handling them on the glove,
right,
I start to feel a little guilty because I gravitate towards him because he's so easy to work with. And then I feel like, well, I should be working with Odin, who is more of a challenge, or even Hopper, our broad-wing hawk down on the end. She's also can be more challenging, but they all have their own personalities. So it's, just a matter of getting to know them.
So he's just, who's this, Sherlock? He's chill, quiet?
Yep, he's the strong silent type. And even when I go in to work with him, as far as learning how to handle him, he will be very calm. Okay. And I learned early on that if I don't make eye contact with him, I can get right up next to him, and that makes it easy to handle. And I think sometimes if you look him in the eye, one of the volunteers, John Loring, was telling me that if you look him in the eye, he thinks that you're coming to eat him.
Yes, you're a predator.
So, exactly,
yeah.
Yeah. So, hi, Odin. Have you got something to tell us? Hi. So, yeah, it's
So
fun.
what's Sherlock? Why is Sherlock here?
So Sherlock had an injury, and he's been here for a long time.
Okay.
And I think I heard that he may be the oldest barred owl in captivity.
Wow.
But he can fly, but he can only fly like short distances.
Okay.
And all the birds that we have here are non-releasable. Right. Which means that they can't fend for themselves in the wild, I guess is. Yeah, so that's like the training that I've been doing, and I come in and sometimes volunteers will train with me, the experienced volunteers, and then Trisha, our director of volunteers, I'm not sure her title, manager of volunteers, I think is her title, but she comes in and works with me and teaches me how to handle them, and so yeah, it's fun.
Now, is it you guys do presentations? during visits and that kind of thing?
So pre-COVID, there was a lot of activity with like taking them to schools and things like that.
You actually take them?
Yep.
Okay.
We travel, and there's actually a state license that you have to be on in order to legally transport raptors and birds.
Sure. Yeah.
And so when I started to train and started to learn things, my name was added to the license in case I would kind of shadow someone at an activity or something. But if you look online, there are a lot of videos, pre-COVID videos of the former director, Carrie Barron. She would take them and give talks at the schools and explain like where they came from and their history. It's really, really awesome stuff.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yep.
So it's just for I don't know, did they always have birds here? I'm trying to think. We used to come just for the artwork. I mean, Kate loved the Audubon prints and whatnot.
Well, the enclosures used to be over the hill across from the mansion there.
Okay.
And at that time, I believe they had 3 screech owls.
Okay.
And I don't know if you can see, there are screech owls back in that little house structure there.
Oh, really?
They're
okay.
up top. So the screech owls each only have one eye because they were injured. Oscar was hit by a car.
Yeah, I know a lot of times that's what it is. Yeah.
And then Abby was attacked by an animal.
Oh.
And her eye kind of looks like it has a cataract in it or something. But they're very... During the day, they don't move around too much. So on
they're
occasion,
nighttime.
Yeah.
I hear we've got a little one out in our yard, and I hear him every night, and it's like this wave of sound. It's like up here, and then it goes down.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's so great when you can hear that. Like most of the owls, other than Mr. Talkative Odin over here, don't really make a lot of noise during the day.
Yeah. That's true, because all owls are night owls, sort of?
You know what? I just saw a documentary about a snowy owl that is not nocturnal.
Oh,
so
okay.
I normally would have said yes, but I think there may be a few breeds that are not.
Cool. So they're generally, I guess, acclimated to people.
I mean, we take them out for weddings too. So if somebody has like their wedding reception here, they can have, and as part of the package, they can have an owl come out. And so once they're on the glove, for the most part, they're very well behaved and they're used to people. Mm-hmm. And then after a certain point in time, they'll let us know when they've had enough. So they'll do what we call baiting, which is where they try to fly off of the glove.
Okay.
And once they start baiting, if they're telling us, listen, I'm done with this, we will bring them back. So for instance, if somebody has an owl scheduled for their wedding for an hour, and we feel as though the owl is either stressed out or not feeling it for whatever reason, if I have Sherlock on the glove and he's getting a little antsy, I'll bring him back, and then I'll get Odin and bring him to finish off the hour. So did you see our blue jay in there, Conrad?
That's what I wanted to see.
So he's Mr. Social. He'll come out, and you can see the toys in there. He'll come out and jingle the bells and hop around.
Well, they are so smart.
Well, when I first started here, I used to think he would recognize me and come up and greet me when I would come in here. But then I talked to the director, and she's like, oh, no, he does that with everyone.
Fine.
Okay.
Great.
But I keep telling myself he's my friend.
He is your friend.
I don't know why. Lately, he's probably back in the corner there. He hasn't been.
Is he in this enclosure?
Yeah, he's in the close one here, and he's probably like back in the corner here.
Oh, okay.
And usually he will come out and put on a little show and ring the bells, and sometimes he'll get vocal and talk to you. And one of the staff told me early on that if you can whistle at a certain pitch, you can have a conversation with him. He will answer, but I don't always get the pitch right, but let me try. Come on, Conrad. You know what else I can do? I can jingle my keys and he'll come out. I think. There he is. Come on.
There he is. Hi.
So it was funny. So they all have been molting about the same time, and I'm just learning about this, but he looked like a wet baby vulture when he was molting, because he lost all the feathers on his head, and he had a little black bald head.
Oh, that's funny.
And I was saying to one of the volunteers, he's so vain that if he knew that he looked like that, he would go into hiding,
I believe
which
it.
he's been doing. So
You look much better now. You really
look great.
You do. You look fabulous.
But he's
What
great.
do you do? Huh?
He loves the attention.
Hi. What do you do? Show me something. Well, you don't have to.
Can you ring the bell, Conrad? Are you going to talk to us today? Can you hear him chirping a little bit? Hi.
Now he's poking around.
So he's funny. So today is my shift day. So when I go in, I clean up in there for him.
Okay.
And then he gets an interesting diet of like bird seed, wet cat food.
Oh, really?
Mealworms, corn. And one of the volunteers here, Jill, she takes care of the meals. So she'll come in once a week and make it. He gets fed twice a day. So yeah, he gets pretty well taken care of. But he, like, you'll see peanuts laying around. He loves peanuts. And sometimes he'll grab like a sunflower seed and come over and like peck on it and put on a little show. So yeah, he's awesome.
Does he ever play a xylophone?
Yes, he does.
Does
he makes
really?
Noise, yeah.
Oh, that's really funny.
And so what I think is strange, like, so he will, when I go in to clean, if I turn my back on him, he'll fly over and like bat me in the side of the head. And I'm finding that he does that with men and he doesn't do that to the women, which may be coincidental, but I'm trying to gather some data on that.
That's interesting, yeah.
Because the women that I know that work with him say that he never touches them, and then a few of the male volunteers have said, oh yeah, he whacks me in the head every time I go in there. I'm starting to see a pattern here.
They are so cool. He seems kind of small.
I think he is a little bit on the small side relative to
some of them can be pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's a difference too between male and female too.
Oh, that might be.
Yeah.
Okay. And now Oscar's Oscar and Abby.
Oscar and Abby. So
they're
Oscar's
in the
top back corner there.
Oh, I see him now. Okay.
And you see Abby's in the other corner.
Yep, there they are.
And
all right.
so typically Abby stays pretty quiet during the day.
Yeah.
But every now and then I'll see her like flitting around in there and I'll be like, what is she doing? But you know, in the wild they like to hide in like tree bark and like small crevices.
Well, they're hard to see. I mean, they really blend in.
They camouflage so well, yeah. And the funny thing is, we had to move Oscar in. There's a little enclosure in the back, and he was taking medication for a while, so we had to separate him so we could kind of track his meds.
Okay.
And when he was back there, there's like a little gap in the back, and he like got into that little gap somehow, and it was so small, and we thought, oh my God, how could he possibly get out? And it turns out he was just in this little gap in the boards.
Hiding.
Yep.
Wow.
And so that was a little scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what they do. In the wild, they'll be like in a tree, like behind the bark.
Okay. Oh,
and
all right.
yeah, there's some nice pictures of them online too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'll check those out. They're neat. Yeah, and they're local. I mean, I know we have one, and the barred ones are too, right?
I believe.
I think if they were injured here, yeah, they live here. Yeah, duh.
No, well,
now I see Odin too. There he is.
I can't say that I've seen any barred owls in the area, and I've spent a lot of time here. Mm-hmm. But I will say that we did have a great horned owl in the sycamore tree behind the enclosure, a wild one. And when she was raising a little owlet in there, she only had one. For a while, people were saying, oh, I saw two in there, and it turns out there was only one.
Okay.
But she stayed for a long time, and during that time, Odin was getting very paternal, and he was getting kind of agitated.
Huh.
And when we would give him his dinner, he would take the mice and he would stick them in the corners of the enclosure, and we think that was kind of like part of the mating ritual, like he was going to offer that to a potential mate. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The cool thing about them is that, you know, they have the feathers on top of their heads, which look like ears.
Yeah.
But their ears are actually more on the side.
Oh.
And they're not geometrically positioned. In other words, one is like a little higher on the head than the other one.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that would be like a directional thing, maybe?
That's what they do. That's what I was told. They do that to kind of like triangulate, I guess, with sound when they're hunting.
Oh, wow.
Look at Mr. Sherlock, how he's watching us.
Hey, you.
It's so funny. Like when I'm in the enclosure with the screeches, I'll be cleaning in there, and I'll stand up, And the two Screeches and Sherlock will all three be sitting there like staring at me. I'm like, I'm glad I'm entertaining you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, they gotta get bored, you know? Have like mice or anything ever gotten in the enclosure? And they've gotten them? Or
someone just told me about a week ago that they saw Sherlock go after a mouse that had gotten in there. And we have also had situations where with Conrad's food, we would come in one day and there would be like a hole bored in the ground.
Right.
And the mouse would like come in.
I was going to say they would come in for the bird seed.
To get the food, yeah. And so we kind of sealed it up and put slate and covered it up and everything.
Oh, okay. Well, who else you got here? Well, I'm going to see Odin down here.
Sherlock, and we have Odin the Great Horn, and we have our two chickens.
Now, what are the chickens' names?
So we have Pineapple, who is the hen.
Beautiful looking.
And Pineapple was laying eggs until I think about 2 months ago. She just stopped.
I can tell you something about. Is she the barred rock, the black and white one?
Yes.
Yeah. Look at her feet. See what color they are?
Mm-hmm.
The color for the eggs comes from the melanin in the feet. And as they get older, the feet get whiter and whiter and whiter.
That's interesting.
So I would suspect that she's like maybe 3-4 more years old. And so she will slow down. She'll probably stop laying at some point if she hasn't already.
Laid an egg in a while.
Yeah, it'll be but yeah, you can see how white her feet are.
Oh, that's interesting.
We've never managed to have any live that long.
How long do they usually live?
Yeah, that's a great question because I think our oldest chickens were like 3 years old at one point. Like we just never, they always get wiped out by a fox or something. I mean, they can live a good long while, at least 5 years.
I heard that in captivity, like here, because they get vet care and they get 3 squares.
They can live quite a while.
Yeah, I heard like 7 to 9.
All right, that would be.
Yeah.
I believe that. But like I said, you should see how we have the poor chickens now. They are like double fenced in an enclosure with a top. And I mean, Carl's got them locked down.
Yeah.
He's not.
We'll let them free range, but we're on notice to watch for hawks because years ago the enclosures were back. There's an old house back there. I'll show you. But that's where the chickens used to be kept. There's a coop there. And one day we had the volunteer or the staff member had no idea that there were hawks in the area and let them out. And then I think at that time there were like 9 of them, and I think it got like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah. Once they know they're here too, it's over.
Oh yeah, we see them. Like I see them circling around all the time.
Oh yeah.
So we will, but there's a sign in the office that says make sure you don't leave them unattended.
Yeah. The hawks are getting good at the chickens. It used to be the fox, and now it's absolutely, because we have a red tail that actually nests. Every year has a nest, or somebody has a nest in the same spot. And and the young ones get all excited because of the chickens. And he's a rooster. Yeah?
Yeah, he is a silky rooster.
I was going to say, he's a silky, okay.
Have you seen those before?
No.
So it's funny, like if you look, the feathers look more like fur.
Yeah.
And he's got quite a personality. He's very defensive of her.
Okay,
A couple times I've been in there and I was refilling the little water container there. And he thought that I was kind of moving aggressively towards Pineapple, and he came at me with talons. Have you ever seen them like in attack mode?
Yeah.
Because they're like not screwing around. Well, I do have a new appreciation for chickens since I've been working here.
Oh, I love them.
I mean, like the personalities. The first day I worked with them by myself, I went in after I was trained on cleaning up and filling the dishes and everything.
Yeah.
I went in and I'm like doing my thing, like scooping the poop and putting the water in. And all of a sudden, Pineapple's like standing at my foot, like pecking me on the ankle. And I'm like, what in the heck is she doing? And I said something to one of the volunteers and she said, oh, she just wants blueberries.
Yeah, she wants a snack. I know, I used to give ours strawberries and they would just go right after me. Like, hi, how you doing? And Carl gives them the mealworms, and they go absolutely bonkers over those. And so they see him coming, and they start screaming.
Yeah, Apollo will start getting very vocal at certain times, like we'll be doing something, and he'll just start sounding off, and you can hear him far away.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Well, do you want to go see the Broadwing Hawk?
I do. Boy, these are nice enclosures.
I mean, people don't know that we're here.
No.
You know? So a lot of times when I talk to visitors, the first thing I say is, have you been here before?
Right.
Because some people are regulars and they know all the birds, they know a lot.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times people say, oh no, this is our first time here. So I just kind of like run down like the guest list of which birds are here.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Hopper cannot fly at all.
Okay.
So,
he's a broadwing. Okay.
Yeah, it's a girl. Hopper is a girl. I always thought Hopper was a boy.
Okay.
But it sounds like more of a masculine name,
Sure.
I guess. But yeah. Hi, Hopper. Are you going to chirp at us? So if we go in to handle Hopper on the glove, I think when she sees the glove, she'll start chirping a lot. She gets excited because she knows we're coming in to handle her. And once she's on the glove, she's pretty well behaved, but she does have a tendency to bait on the glove. So
okay.
That's why she's more difficult to train with, because she baits more often.
Sure.
And so yeah. But I had her. We had her out at a wedding a couple weeks ago, and she was great. She was
cool.
very well behaved the whole time. And I think, for the most part, they're used to people. They see people here all the time. And then when we take them out, they do well. Like, they're okay with people,
awesome.
And people take selfies with them and stuff, and it's all fine, and people love it. Getting that close to them, you know.
Yeah.
But we've been trying more and more recently to kind of like lessen the stress that they're under, because we think it's affecting their health, and we want the best for them, you know. I think a lot of people don't have an appreciation like for animals, you know what I mean?
No, I know.
As far as their intelligence and what they understand and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, when you talk about the birds, you know, one of the volunteers said, you know, they're not like cats and dogs.
No.
Because, you know, a broad-winged hawk is not going to come up and cuddle with you and watch TV, and, you know, they don't have that.
No, they're a little more focused on meat.
On hunting, yes. Mice and, you know, but...
they have a purpose, you know?
Yeah, they have a one-track mind.
Now, does he have the little leather things on his feet? Now, do you hold on to those? Or?
So those are jesses. They're
okay.
Called jesses, yep. And what we do is, when we approach them, and it's the same for the owls as it is with the hawk, we want to get control of the jesses first. And so I'll get the glove very close to her, and then get the jesses in the thumb of the glove. And then once I have that, I'll try to kind of intertwine them in the fingers of the glove.
Okay.
And this is because we want to have that kind of immediate control.
Sure.
And then once we do that, if you can see at the very bottom, there are like little eyelets at the bottom.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
We have a tether, which is similar to a dog leash. So once we get them on the glove comfortably, then we'll attach the tether to the jesses.
Okay.
And then the tether attaches to the glove. So if they should happen to get off the glove, they can't get too far away.
Right. And now, what was the injury with this poor guy? Do you know?
Hopper was hit by a car.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
Because I see him on the highway sometimes. They'll go after, like, a deer or something.
Roadkill or something, yeah. And you know what else I heard, too, and this is unconfirmed, but when they build a new roadway, a lot of times the mice will kind of burrow their holes around the roadways.
Okay.
So the birds know that that's like where the food is.
Oh, okay.
So that's why they kind of like travel along the roads and have more of a tendency to be struck by cars.
Yeah, every hawk I've ever seen in a, you know, like a visitor center or whatever is usually from a car.
Yeah, it's sad, but I mean, they're so beautiful, you know.
Oh, they are.
If you look at her, and she gets around though. She'll be hot. You'll see the different perches we have at different levels, and she also likes we keep the water refreshed every day. And Hopper's the only one that gets breakfast. She gets fed in the morning. So we keep mice frozen. We kind of thaw them as we need them, and then we weigh out a certain amount of grams for each bird.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
and we track their diet. So
there she
Hi,
is.
Hopper.
Hi.
Hello. We will, like, if we come in and they haven't eaten their food, we'll weigh it, and we keep track of the remains.
Okay.
And also, like, are you familiar with the pellets?
Yeah, the owl pellets.
Yeah.
I've never. I think Kate probably had one at some point.
Yeah, if you want one, we have a bunch.
Ooh, actually, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, so it's interesting, and I don't think a lot of people know that that's how their digestive system
Yeah,
works.
because all the bones will be in there, right?
The bones and the fur and anything that they can't, the whiskers, anything that they can't digest.
I'll take an elk pellet, sure.
Yeah, and
I'll bring it home for Carl. I brought you a gift.
But during the time when we were taking them to the schools, we would show them, like, kind of like dissect it and open it up and show them, like, here's a little mouse jawbone in here or something, you know. So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you.
Oh my God, Anne. I loved meeting all the birds, and I felt like I loved that the whole time you could hear hooting.
That was the great horned owl, Odin. Yes.
Yes, and you can tell that, well, each one of them has a personality that everybody there recognizes them like they're persons.
Right. Oh, and they all have personality.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So it really shows you what it's like to interact with individual birds. You know, and it's not just the species, it's the individual.
Yes. And that they do have personalities.
Yeah, you jingle the keys and they come
something that they did
cool.
with him that was, jangly.
Maybe you got to play with
keys.
Play with key. They're shiny.
They're shiny. They're a corvid.
Yeah.
So they like shiny things. And they would like keys. They would take those. Yeah. So he was charming.
Of course. That's so fun. You know what would be fun is getting to be one of those volunteers. Doing what I does. Yeah.
Yes. To explore more of this animal life, please subscribe, rate, and review. It would help us immensely, and we will be eternally grateful. Go to www.thisanimallife.com for more links and information on this and other episodes. Our music, as always, was composed and performed by Chip Salerno. Find more of Chip's music on SoundCloud.com. Until next time.